Hey everyone, it is late at night and I am Norman. It is State of the Collection season. We've already looked at my sci-fi watches. Tonight we're looking at a very special portion of my collection, gift watches. These are pieces that were given to me as gifts from family, friends, and you all out there. So this is by far the more varied portion of the watches that I own. So let's take a look at them. Now, some astute viewers might have noticed in the Sci-Fi Watches video that there was a piece that was not there. And that piece was the Cyberdriver watch. So the strap on this is magnetic, which means that this watch sits on its own. And because of that, I inadvertently overlooked it when I was grabbing watches for that video. So I will discuss it here. Even though it's not a gift watch, this was actually a trade challenge watch. I put one of my own watches into the challenge in exchange for this, because it's such a crazy, cool, fun watch. I mean, just look at that. And the light on it is so bright. However, the display is kind of incompatible with my camera, as you can see. I still have to do a full review of it. It is on my list of reviews to do, and for that one I'll have to get footage elsewhere of that display as I go through its features. But this is super sci-fi and fun. Alright, so let's go over these watches. This is in no particular order, I just have them all laid out. First up we have the Bodere watch. And this piece has a titanium case, which is cool. The texture on the dial is amazing. And there is a secret to that texture. The lines of that honeycomb dial actually glow. You can kind of see it there. But that's a pretty cool design. Very clever. I had no idea for a while that it did that. And I think I went to their site or saw a video on it. I think it was a different channel's review of it. That was when I realized that that texture actually glows. This is a great looking watch. Looks good on this strap. Next up we have the Gucci watch that I got from a friend of mine at church. Completely unexpected. Out of the blue, he just gave me this watch. And it's such a great size. I like how it's almost Roman or Egyptian looking because of the colorway. And it's a two-hander quartz piece. And it's so cool that he just gave this to me. And next up we have a piece that has shown up on this channel a few times. The Titan watch. This is an ultra slim piece. Very Citizen stiletto-y in appearance, but I kind of like this one more. And yeah, just amazing that this watch was given to me. I like the two-tone markers. It kind of adds some interest to it. Same with the hands, being sort of that rose gold color. And it's crazy how thin it is. This piece is also a two-hander quartz, and I love the colorway, just all black. It looks great on the black strap here. The Titan edge. Yeah, look at that. My camera doesn't even know what to do with it. And it looks great when you're wearing it too. Yes. And there's the Eddie Bauer watch with the amazing bezel. And I see that I have it positioned all over the place. So let's fix that. There we go, that's better. And I think when I first got this watch, I assumed that that was a fixed bezel, but nope, it is functional. This has the Indiglow. And because of that, you can have hollow hands, kind of makes sense to let that light shine through. And they look pretty cool. The color of the dial is very interesting, also because of that feature. And this watch looks so good on this dark brown strap. It's like perfect for it. This is such a great camping watch, hiking watch, just outdoorsy events like that. Just kind of perfect for that. But that bezel looks so good. And the proportions of this watch are great too. I believe it's a neo-vintage piece, but that's how it's sized. So, next up we have the Wolf Notch watch. This was sent to me by the brand. It's their first foray into mechanical watches. This one's an automatic, and it's an interesting design. I think it would have been cool to go with a purely skeletonized dial or a solid one, as opposed to cutting out the circular patterns on it, but very interesting piece, and I really appreciate the brand sending it to me, and they were completely open to an honest review of it. And if I remember correctly, they even responded after I put out that video where I had pointed out some things that I would have done differently on it, and their response was really positive and gracious. So yeah, these guys generally make smartwatches, and this was an attempt at a mechanical one. I mean, it's a solid piece, and yeah, kind of cool to see a brand trying something new. Then there is the vintage Hamilton LCD watch. Sadly, the module in this is dead, and at some point I may go on the hunt for a replacement for it. It would be cool to see this piece alive and working, but it kind of has a Cartier style case and very unique looks to it. This is a pretty fitting strap for it. Next up we have the vintage military watch. I believe this might be a nurse's watch. It has a crazy crystal. I like that touch of red, and the dial's cool. The crystal definitely is the star of the show on this watch. It has a gold case that I believe is solid gold. I could be wrong. If it's plated, it's still in great shape. Yeah, and I think this was owned by a great uncle or something like that. It seems to run really well. It is very diminutive, even for vintage military pieces, but it still looks good on the wrist. And we have the Sherian watch. The only problem with this watch is I need to get the bezel fixed. It's very easy to move this bezel. When you're wearing it, it seems to kind of stay in place fairly well, but when you're winding it, it'll rotate just from inadvertently touching it here. So I'll have to get that fixed. But I like the small size of this. It's thin, it wears really thin. The crystal's great. And I kind of like that well worn in bezel insert. The blue is a nice touch. The markers and indices look great. It's pretty cool on this strap. Yeah, this is a really sleek dive style watch. And I decided to go over my swatches that were gifts. This one's been on the channel a few times. This went with me to Florida too. This was a gift from my wife. I love the Bauhaus hour markers on it. Unfortunately, it needs a battery, so I'll have to get on that, but this is a great colorway, great design. And my mother-in-law actually gave me the black dial counterpart to it, because I love that Bauhaus design so much, and this colorway is really cool. And it's great that they're contemporary swatches, but they're absolutely the vintage old style design. Same size and everything. Same loud ticking. Same big box crystal. Swatch style lugs. Just great. And they've even changed the battery hatch a bit. So hopefully these will last quite a while. That's the one part that goes out on them. It kind of gets brittle and chips off. And then this doesn't get held down enough to keep the battery engaged. But of course those are on swatches from the 80s and 90s. And this one's already shown up on the channel as well. It was a gift this year for my wife, and this is one of the ultra slim swatches. I just love that center wheel. That is cool. All the pops of color look great. This was a great way of skeletonizing this. And I love clear swatches. This one doesn't make any noise though, so this is a quiet ticking swatch. And it's also in the gents size. We have a Citizen chronograph, and this one has a blue dial. The only watch I have with a blue dial. The sub-dials on this look amazing. And I like the sleek design on the K-shape and the bracelet, how it kind of curves in on the sides. The blue and silver just looks really good together. And there's a sunburst texture on the dial. I like how the sub-dials are almost Daytona-like in their aesthetics. And it is a solid watch. And last up we have the Edifice watch, which was a gift from one of you all out there. And this has made an appearance on the channel. The green highlights are really cool. And in my previous video, I pointed out how cool those markers are, because they actually have color on the bevels, on the sides of them. Sort of a bluish green. It's very subtle, but you can see it showing up here and there. And just gives it a really cool look. And look at how thin that is. Amazing. It's a quartz piece, so it's grab and go, nice and easy. The screws are kind of cool on there. The handset is great. Yeah, that is a pretty cool looking piece. And here it is on the wrist. Yeah, look at that. That is so thin, just hugs the wrist. The date wheel is subtle. And look at that, it is white on black. Perfect. You can barely even tell it's there. I like it. So there you have it, my gift watch collection. Thanks so much to everybody who gave these to me. That was amazingly kind. Thank you. And thanks for watching.